Hey, everybody. We're here today with Belen Jesuit, Coach Fernandez. Coach, welcome in.
Hey, what's up, man? Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So let's get started. It's been a whirlwind year for you personally. You're set to take over the Coral Gables job and then ended up at Belen. Tell us a little bit about how that process played out and the emotions that went into those kind of decisions.
Yeah, Coral Gables will always be a special place to me. It was definitely one of those moments when I got that job. I was like, my first instinct was like, man, finally. It had been 5 years working with Ernie Padron, who's like a father to me, honestly. I've learned a lot from him, so it was pretty cool to finally be able to take over once he stepped down, and then before you know it, you put your heart and soul into a program, and another opportunity kind of presents itself, and I decided to take a little risk, and it happened to work out, and now I'm at a place where I consider a dream, so it's been a roller coaster, but I will tell you that for the most part, it's been a good roller coaster.
So you took over, you come in at Belen, you follow Jerry Albert, who did an outstanding job there, building that program back up and getting it back to a top level. What was the vision that you laid out for your players when you first met them? Obviously, different coaching styles and a different coach. What did you lay out to them as far as your vision for the program?
Yeah, Jerry did an unbelievable job here, and it's really nice to show up to a place and be able to see something that someone else has built and leaving it in a good position. I came in, and obviously, you want to change things. It's what all of us want to do, kind of put our own little mark on the program. And I just came in and told the kids that I was, going to give them all I got. Everything I ever wanted was right in front of me the moment I took over here, and I was just letting them know, like, we have a chance to make history here. Obviously, Belen has never won a state championship. So immediately once I walked in the front doors, my goal was pretty clear, and it was to win a state championship here. As long as I'm here, I'm definitely going to try to win one. So that's the goal. And I told the kids that every day we strap it up, just our goal is a state championship.
And even with all the goals that you guys have, you have to be somewhat surprised. I mean, you guys are 11-2. You're ranked number 2 in the HSBN Miami rankings. You're one of the top teams in South Florida. Is this team even exceeding some of your expectations at this point in the season?
I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew we'd be 11-2, because I did not expect 11-2, but I did have some faith here. And I will say that it's funny, because in the new era of baseball, how we kind of have to look at standings and rankings, because they kind of are what judges if we're going to be in a regional, if we're going to be able to host a regional. We look into it a little more than we probably would have wanted to. I know when I was playing, nobody cared about rankings. It was just about being the best and staying the best. Now, we follow some rankings. I will say that I owe a lot of it to the rankings, because when Max Preps finally came out with their rankings and we were 191 in Florida, it was like a punch to the gut. I even thought about calling Jerry and telling Jerry, hey, man, this should affect you as much as it affects me, because you guys did good last year. I don't know why you guys are 191 and we're starting off like that. So it was kind of something that it was like good locker room material. It was just a way to push the boys, and honestly, it clicked right away. Like once we saw the 191, everybody's like, wait, hold up. That's not right. So it's been one of those things that, while I don't preach, let's just worry about the rankings, it is nice that we had a good little run. We won 10 in a row, and we kind of slowly started climbing up those rankings. Specifically in HSBN, we got up to number 2. We did drop one this week. St. Brendan played a hell of a game, and it got us. It was a good little punch in the mouth. So it was I will say the rankings have been interesting. They're a nice little chip on our shoulder. So we're enjoying that for now.
And following up on that, I've talked to some other coaches through these Sunday morning chats about how hard it is to navigate not really knowing what goes into the ranking system. I mean, there's an idea that maybe it's strength of schedule. There's some ideas it's who you beat. In the old system, you play your district teams, right where you're going to be at the end. So how hard is it to kind of coach in an era where you're no matter how well you do, you're kind of at the mercy of these random rankings that nobody knows the formula to?
Yeah, I will say that's a topic of conversation daily amongst me and our coaches. We talk about it, and it's just like, man, it's like you're winning, you're beating good teams. It's a shame, because some of these teams we're beating, it's like, we know they're a good team. You know, like that's a solid program. That's a really good win. And then we walk out of here and it's just because they dropped 2 or 3 in a row. It's like, oh yeah, all of a sudden that win didn't matter. You know, Miami Springs was one of them. Like I
Sure.
consider playing against Miami Springs and being able to compete and beat Miami Springs as a great successful day. You know, they're a hell of a team. David Fanshaw's a hell of a coach. And then you turn around and it's like they went into a little skid where they lost a couple games and it's like, guys, we still beat Miami Springs. Miami Springs is a hell of a team. That should count for something. But because they're not winning, it's affecting you. And it's like, man, I don't even know how to. Same thing. We had a situation with Braddock where Braddock beat us. And I'm like, man, Braddock is a heck of a team, heck of a coaching staff, good group of players. We lose to them. And it's like, oh, that's not a bad loss. But then they go and they lose 2 big games. And it's like all of a sudden losing to Braddock was like a slap in the face. And it's like, man, I can't get a read on these rankings. We go up 1 spot after winning like 6 games in a row. And it's one of those things that I just can't make sense of. We had a good laugh in the 5A rankings on Max Preps. We won 10 in a row. We're 11-1 at the time, and we actually dropped from 6 to 7.
Right.
And we're like, if we lost the game, I'd understand, but we were winning, and it made no sense. But that's the new era of baseball, and it's the only thing that. We look at it, we follow it, we keep track of it, but at the end of the day, we still got to play our game and let the stuff that we can't control worry about itself,
And ultimately, I mean, the one good thing they do have with it is that you still do control your own fate with winning your district. So,
Yes.
all of that, it kind of plays in if you get, if somebody falters or stumbles in the districts, but teams still have the ability to win their district and advance in the playoffs. So at least I guess they got that right. But let's talk about the adjustment you have. So you coached in public schools and now you're at a private school. Obviously, the 2 systems and the administrations in private do things a lot different than the administrations in public. So, what has been the biggest adjustment for you moving over to the private school?
So I will say that both administrations, I have met some of the most amazing people that I have dealt with, not only in sports, but just in life in general, from my principals at Coral Gables, Mr. Costa, Rivalry, our athletic director, Romero, and then coming here to some legends like Carlos Barquin, Father Willie, all these guys. They have been nothing but supportive. Both sides were super supportive. It's just the unfortunate public-private thing, public school, you don't have the funding. You got to go out and do everything on your own. You come to a private school, it's like, hey, we got this set aside for you. Go do what you got to do. Go win, Obviously, here at Belen, we can't recruit, which is a beautiful thing because you kind of grow these players all the way from 6th grade. You do have that power. You could recruit in public school, but you can't really. It's hard. It's hard. The facilities, you struggle with the facilities. You catch yourself working more on a baseball field, fixing a baseball field, than actually running a practice. And there's a lot of things that are tough, and it wasn't lost on me. The blessing of coming to a place like this, it's been unbelievable. I'm telling you, it's like coaching a professional program. It's like coaching a college, a university, and they really have just given me everything. Like, hey, here are the keys to the kingdom. Go do what you can. It's been unbelievable, top to bottom. It is a big difference, though. I will say that the public-private is sometimes it's a shame. It's a shame to see how far behind sometimes the public school system is, but that's just the nature of the beast,
Let's talk a little bit about the facilities, because a lot of the ADs, and you get this in Miami, it's here in Broward, it's up in Palm Beach. A lot of the public school ADs handcuff their coaches, don't even let them use the fields a lot of the time, and the fields are sitting empty. Whereas, a lot of these private schools have access and you can be on your fields and have your facilities in the off season and have all that. I mean, how much of a difference does that make in a program?
Oh yeah, no, that makes a huge difference. I will say that's one of the things, like I said, at Coral Gables, those guys were unbelievable. Those guys, it was, hey, this is the key to the field. This is yours. You do whatever you got to do whenever you got to do it. They were great about it. So I kind of, now that you mentioned that, actually, it's funny because I had that liberty where I could do that at Coral Gables. But look, I had that situation where it was very tough to do at Terra. Because at Terra, it being part of a public park, we had some restrictions, and those restrictions kind of killed us, But with Coral Gables, it was, I mean, those guys, again, they were great. Everything we needed was unbelievable. They were very supportive. They always took care of us within their means, you know. But then coming here, it's like it's just night and day, no matter how you put it. The facilities, just alone, the batting cages we have here are in the month of September during the fall, we were not able to practice on the field because of the rain. We didn't miss one practice in the month of September, thanks to these cages and this facility. So it does go a long way. The facilities are a big thing, definitely.
So let's switch off baseball for a minute and tell me about you off the field. What are some of the things the casual observer of your coaching career, or people that see you across the field or even in your own program, wouldn't know about you, maybe off the field?
Oh, off the field. I mean, kind of tough because my entire life revolved around this field and baseball in general. I mean, one of the few things, I'm one of those guys, I got really into collecting cards again once they heated back up. And it was kind of cool to kind of relive that childhood like routine that you had, you know, always buying baseball packs and all that stuff. I got into that. I like to collect memorabilia, stuff like that. I love to fish. But other than that, I mean, fantasy football. I got my beautiful wife, who I've been with for 15 years. It's because of her that I get to do this stuff, you know. So just overall, I mean, I'm a baseball junkie. It doesn't, I can't even tell you I got a hobby over baseball, because if I find myself bored, I find myself on the baseball field right after. So it's one of those things. I love this game.
So you're a card collector. What's your most, what, two questions. What's your most valuable card that you have? And what's your favorite card that you have?
Oh man. So my favorite card, actually, I say my most valuable card, which I sold like about a year ago, was I had LeBron's rookie card. I bought it right when the card started getting hot. I bought it, I flipped it, I made some money off of it, but it was definitely one of those that I'm like, man, I can't believe I own one of these. So that was pretty cool. My favorite card, oof, I would go back to, man, it's got to be the Griffey. The Griffey rookie card is one of those that you see and you're like, man, I had this as a kid and it was all destroyed, and now I'm trying to buy one that's in perfect condition and I can't afford it. So the Griffey card, I will say, man, that one is what kid at my age when we were young didn't look up to Ken Griffey Jr. So Ken Griffey would probably be my favorite card. The coolest card was the LeBron, that's for sure.
Awesome. What's the best feeling that the game of baseball ever gave you?
Ooh. The best feeling, I mean, best feeling I ever had was when I signed with the Orioles as a free agent in 2012, right after Marshall University. That was like a dream come true. Even though it did happen over the phone, it was a pretty unbelievable moment, because, you know, it's what you work for your entire life. And then it kind of happens and it's like, whoa, this is exactly what I expected it to feel like. And that was pretty unbelievable. And I will say, the second one was getting this job here at Belen. This one means a lot. And I'm a Columbus guy. I graduated from Columbus. But getting this job and having this opportunity really, really, really means the world to me. And I really hope that I can make an impact and leave a legacy in this place. That is my ultimate goal.
And what's that like? Because obviously, you know, I was going to get into that. I mean, that's a pretty big rivalry between those two. So what's it like to be on both sides of that?
Oh man, I always say I'm going to be the most popular guy in South Florida, because I graduated from Columbus and I work at Belen. So I'm going to have I'm going to be the most connected man in South Florida. That's definitely was my first thought. But it's definitely it's a little it's tough. It's tough. I don't know what other way to explain it, but I will say, in my years of being part of Columbus and following everything after the fact, joining Belen, it exceeded my expectations. Everything about this place is unbelievable. The people are unbelievable. It wasn't something that I would have ever expected. And now I'm here and I'm like, man, this place is just as awesome. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I still keep in touch with Webb at Columbus and a lot of the coaches. I still see some of the teachers. So being on both sides of it, it's like all you can do is appreciate it. You can't hate on it. You can only appreciate it.
And I think it's something too, because when I started HSBN, I had certain predetermined opinions on different coaches from coaching for 15 years. And, you know, oh, I don't like this guy, or I don't like this guy's, you know, because you battle against them for so many years. And I gained such perspective over the past 12 years of like, these guys are good guys. They were competitors, you know? So I think sometimes that's something I tried to break down over the years with HSBN. And you know, you just brought it to the forefront where these are good guys, and people need to understand that just because they're rivals doesn't mean that they have to be demonized or villainized. It could be a rivalry and those still be good people on the other side, right?
Yeah. Webb was a role model of mine. Webb was a hell of a coach when I played. And like being on this side now and having a program, which I believe like Belen of this magnitude, you kind of sit back and go, man, you don't really appreciate what he's done for high school and what he did for me in general, you know, and just everybody, like, and that program, the power, the history it has, you don't really appreciate it till you're on this side. You know, I could say I want to go play against Columbus right now, and obviously I want to win, but it's not lost on me that you gotta admire what's been done over there and the history of it and the winning. Because the truth is, one day I hope somebody can talk about Belen and my success here and our success as a program, like some of us do about Weber 30, 40 years into his career.
Sure. So we're gonna finish with some word association. I'll give you a few words. You give me the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the words. All right. The first one is gonna be Belen Jesuit.
Oh, you caught me off guard. Family.
Joy.
Baseball.
Frustration.
Baseball.
Best coach you've been around.
Padron.
Travel baseball.
Too much.
Favorite movie of all time.
42.
If I wasn't coaching, I would be blank.
Miserable.
Something that makes me cry.
Winning.
All right, the last one, and we give this to all our coaches. It's a tough one, but you can win a state title this year, bring a state title to Belen, but that would be the end of your coaching career. Or you get no state title and you get 10 more years of coaching. Which one are you choosing?
I take the state title 10 out of 10 times.
All right, Coach. Well, it's been great talking to you. You guys are off to a great start. We wish you luck the rest of the year, and we hope to see you in Fort Myers at the end of the year.
I hope so too, Anthony. Thank you very much for the opportunity, man.
You got it. Have a good one.
You too.